What's going on, everyone? Thanks for joining me for another Pokemon VGC video today, where I attempt to climb the online rankings and try to become a better competitive battler and commentator as I go along. Now, I jumped into this prematurely, so we're going to be matched up with a player from Mexico. And, 1504 player, okay, he has another guard. And, just getting right into this, and I'll talk in 1 second. He has a Gardevoir, he has Jolteon, he has a, Scizor, weird team. Scizor, a Talonflame, the Gastrodon, and an Aerodactyl. Probably has the Gastrodon on his team, obviously having the Storm Drain and to keep like the water type attacks away from the Aerodactyl, the Talonflame, potentially his entire team. You know, keeping those skulls away from his entire team and his Scizor so it doesn't get burned. Now the Jolteon, I think it gets Lightning Rod. I think it gets Lightning Rod. Maybe it doesn't. I don't think it does, to be honest with you. I think it gets Voltazor, but it's hidden ability. Not too sure, but it also could have Lightning Rod. I don't know, because it could be paired with Talonflame to keep those electric type attacks away as well. And he has Gardevoir, could be Mega Aerodactyl, but also could be regular Aerodactyl with the Focus Sash and Tailwind. And I apologize if I like stutter in this entire episode because I'm extremely tired right now. I just woke up from a nap because I've worked so long this week, and I know I sound like a little kid, but that's how it is right now. So let me take a picture of his team really quick because I talk way too much, right? Yes, I do. Alright, so he has 3 potential Megas on his team. I know I want to bring the Sableye. I want to bring the Sableye for his Aerodactyl and for his Scizor. Question is who he leads with. He doesn't have any fake outers on his team. Probably going to lead with the Talonflame. If he leads with the Talonflame, that's fine with me. Just think, I want to bring my Mungus for his Gastrodon. I do know that, and I want to bring my Gardevoir. Think here for a second. Politoed, I don't know whether or not the Politoed would be good here because of the Gastrodon, but if I get rid of the Gastrodon, it could put in some work. So, who do I want to start with here? Gardevoir, and I'm going to bring the Politoed in the back. I did switch up the team a little bit here because I got 2 unfortunate losses because if I had Fake Out on my Sableye when I switched it in the last turn in my last battle, I would have won it. But unfortunately I didn't. Quash wasn't particularly one of those moves that was working out for my team because it's not very offensive, it's more defensive. So he has another shiny Gardevoir, and I have a shiny Gardevoir as well, and he's going to lead with the Talonflame. Now, I don't think the Talonflame is probably going to set up the Tailwind right now, and the Gardevoir picks up Gale Wings. Okay, so the Talonflame is probably going to set up the Tailwind. The Gardevoir is going to be faster than my Gardevoir, obviously, after he does that. But it won't, I believe it won't work until the next turn or something like that. I don't know. But I'm trying to think of what I should be doing right here. Gardevoir could just go straight out for the attack. Talonflame obviously is definitely one of the is a bigger threat right now. But if I go for the Imprison on this Gardevoir, I can't do anything, especially go for the Hyper Voice. Thing is, I think I will be faster than this Gardevoir because it seems like his team is going to rely on Tailwind right now, so it may be a slower Gardevoir. So that's what I'm going to rely on, to be completely honest with you right now. I'm going to go for the Fake Out and the Talonflame, and I'm going to go for the Imprison. I'm going to evolve, go for the Imprison. I'm not going to worry about a Hyper Voice right now because I'm banking on my Gardevoir being faster than his Gardevoir. My Gardevoir is kind of a faster variant. I did invest a lot of EVs in speed so I can outspeed other Gardevoirs and other potential threats for my Sableye, especially Bisharp. So I'm faster than an Animate Max Speed Bisharp. So I am going to Mega Evolve for his before his Gardevoir. So I am faster than his Gardevoir. So I'm going to get the Imprison off. Hopefully that blocks the Hyper Voice, which would be great. So I'm going to go for the Imprison. And if he goes for the Hyper Voice, he's not going to be able to get it off, and he's going to have to. It's going to force the switch out. He's going to go for the Hyper Voice. That's actually perfect. That plays out very perfect, just showing you the true power of Imprison right there. So he can't protect, he can't use Hyper Voice, and if he has Psychic, he can't use that as well. I don't know what his last move is, just like the previous episode where I didn't know what the last move for the Gardevoir was, and it actually had Psyshock and it had Trick Room. So this Gardevoir may want to set up the Trick Room. Obviously, having Talonflame on your team, it's going to negate it because it has Gale Wings. It's going to attack first regardless. But I also have Prankster. So if he sets up the Tailwind, I'm going to attack actually before this Talonflame with my Prankster ability because I'm being slower. obviously, than this Talonflame. So I'm just trying to think of what I possibly can do here. I could go for the Foul Play into the Talonflame, expecting it to Brave Bird into my Gardevoir. Don't think it would KO my Gardevoir, to be completely honest with you. I'm really confident that it won't KO my Gardevoir. I think he's going to switch into his Scizor right here, but I'm just going to go for the safe play and go for the Hyper Voice damage, anything that's potentially going to switch in here. He's going to go for the Brave Bird into my Gardevoir. That's going to happen. It's interesting to see what his Gardevoir is going to do right here, though. I'm going to go for the Foul Play. This actually should KO the Talonflame right here. So I'm going to go for the Foul Play on... Oh, yeah, the Foul Play is going to be plenty. Will-O-Wisp! He has Will-O-Wisp as his last move. That's the first time I've ever seen that on a Gardevoir, but that's actually a really good move for him to have because it's going to wear down my Sableye, which is just basically a stall Pokemon. So his Talonflame is going to go down right there. If I didn't go for the Hyper Voice play right there, the Foul Play wouldn't have knocked it out. So going for the Hyper Voice right there was actually really beneficial for me. So he's still under Imprison. He could potentially go for the Will-O-Wisp onto my Gardevoir. So I'm trying to think. I think this Gastrodon... So he's probably going to go for the Will-O-Wisp onto my Gardevoir. If not, he's probably going to switch out. Just trying to think who he could switch out into. If he switches out into either the Scizor or the Aerodactyl, it's going to get burnt. So I'm trying to, I feel like I want to go for the Will-O-Wisp onto the Gardevoir slot, anticipating that he's going to switch into either one of those, thinking that I may go for another Hyper Voice, because obviously the Scizor would resist it, but it's going to also get switched into a Will-O-Wisp. So I feel like I'm going to do that, because this Gastrodon's not going to be able to KO my Sableye. So I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp, see if I could potentially switch into anyone. Just in case that he goes for the Will-O-Wisp onto my Gardevoir, I don't want that to happen, so I'm going to safely protect right here. Basically just to protect from any damage from this Gastrodon if it does go after it, or the Will-O-Wisp. And if he switches out into a physical attacker, it's going to take a Will-O-Wisp in the Gardevoir slot. Alright, so I'm going to protect right now. I'll see whether or not he does protect. He can't with his Gardevoir, so he's just going to stay in with his Gardevoir. So Imprison doing a lot of work, and he does have Psyshock. Well, a lot of these Gardevoirs are running Psyshock. He doubles up into the Gardevoir, so that was a really good protect right there. That was a really good protect. So we don't see the Muddy Water from the Gastrodon right now. Okay, what else do I want to do right here? So I could go for the... I don't want to switch into my Politoed right now because this Gastrodon's on the field. This Gastrodon's on the field. He can't go for the Psyshock into the Sableye slot. So I could switch into my Amoonguss. But then, and again, if I switch into my Amoonguss, it's going to get switched out with the eject button if he goes into the Amoonguss. So, that's the thing. That's the thing right there. Okay, so, what should I do? Should I just go for the Will-O-Wisp into the Gastrodon? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp into the Gastrodon because it's naturally a bulky Pokemon. It's going to wear that thing down. And hopefully I can pick up the KO on it later on. You know what? I'm going to go for the Hyper Voice right now. I'm going to KO this Gardevoir. Unless he can't protect this Gardevoir. So I'm going to go for the KO onto this Gardevoir and then get the burn off onto the Gastrodon. Obviously, it misses. Willow miss. So, yeah, I'm going to pick up the KO on the Gardevoir. Wow, this is not a very specially defensive Gastrodon. So he's going to go for the Earth Power onto my Sableye. So my Gardevoir is going to stick around for one more turn. At least one more turn. And his Gardevoir absolutely doing nothing to my team other than getting the burn off onto my Sableye, which I could just recover off because of the Imprison. So that one turn protect with my Gardevoir was clutch because he doubled down to the Gardevoir, and the Imprison just putting in so much work because it disabled Hyper Voice. And again, like I said in my previous episode, he does have Scizor in the back, so it was good that he didn't switch it in. He could switch it into a potential Will-O-Wisp. But that's why I have Imprison on my Gardevoir, so I can get off... trying to think here. So I can get off the Imprison to basically shut down the Sylveon and the Gardevoir for my Sableye and my Scrafty now that I have it on my team. But now he has the Scizor. It's not going to be Mega Scizor, we do know that. It could be Lum Scizor. So it's probably going to be Lum Scizor to basically just deter anyone from Will-O-Wisping it. So I'm really considering going for the Recover right here, and then just protecting with my Gardevoir, but he also can anticipate that and go for the Swords Dance. That would be a really good play on his part if he went for the Swords Dance. So I'm going to recover with my Sableye right here, and I can't really do anything at this point because he can just go for the Bullet Punch, so I'm going to switch into my Politoed, obviously resisting the Bullet Punch, but he also could just go for the Swords Dance, which I really think he's going to go for, but on the following turn I'll go for the Will-O-Wisp, but I'm in a predicament, but he does go for the Bullet Punch into the Sableye. Wow, and it does KO the Sableye. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And he's going to go for a Scold into my Politoed. Just don't burn me. Just don't burn me. That's all I ask. Okay. Doesn't get the burn. That's fine. Alright, so we have him down to his last 2 Pokemon. So what I can do is I can go for the Parasong, put immense pressure on both of his Pokemon, and then put my Gardevoir in there, protect with my Gardevoir, and then switch back out to my Amoonguss, put the Gardevoir back in there, protect again with my Gardevoir, and burn a few turns. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put my Gardevoir back in there, protect this turn, and then go for the Parasong, because either one of these Pokemon are going to have Taunt, so he's not going to be able to get rid of the Parasong. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's going to be a bit risky doing this because, of course, he could just go for the Swords Dance right now. But since I switched into my Gardevoir, he's probably going to go for the Bullet Punch because he probably thinks that I'm, doing something tricky right here, putting my Gardevoir in there, opposed to another Pokemon that I may have in the back that could resist his Bullet Punches, which I do have a Amoonguss in the back, but I want to preserve my eject button. So I do anticipate a Bullet Punch into the Gardevoir slot, but he also gets Swords Dance. I don't want to risk that, so I'm going to protect with my Gardevoir. I just want to make sure. I want to go back and make sure I protect it with my Gardevoir. Yep, protect with my Gardevoir, and then I want to go for the Parasong right here because the Gastrodon can't really do much. Probably has Ice Beam, Earth Power, Scold. The only thing he could really do to my Politoed right here would be to burn it with the Scold. So I'm going to go for the Parasong right here. So, going to protect with my Gardevoir right here. See what his Scizor wants to do, because the Scizor obviously being the biggest threat on his team. So, he's going for the Bullet Punch. He may not even have Swords Dance. So, he may have Bullet Punch, Protect, may have Feint, and maybe like a knockoff or a... So good, he's going to go straight up for the Earth Power, which is better. I'd rather him go for the Earth Power, because if he goes for the Scold, obviously he's going to get the Rain Boosted Scold, and he could potentially get the Burn Off, so it's going to be harder for me to stall his team out. Even though there's only 3 more turns left of this game, that could actually come down to the wire if he does get some damage off of my Politoed with the burn damage. Okay, so now on this turn, he's going to go straight for the Bullet Punch into my Gardevoir. That's a given because I protected the following turn, so obviously protect having a 50% chance to fail this turn if I do the double. So I'm going to put in my Amoonguss right here. Going to get switched out into my Gardevoir again, get the Regenerator health with my Amoonguss. So just switching it in, basically just having full health when I switch it back and when my Gardevoir does go down. But yet again, we only have 3 turns right here. So I'm trying to think, do I want to protect right here with my Politoed, anticipating that he may double down into my Gardevoir slot? He doesn't really have to because, if he KOs me with the Bullet Punch, he doesn't have to double down. So he's probably going to go into the Politoed slot again with his Gastrodon. But again, the Gastrodon not doing much, so I don't really have to go for... So this is what I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam and then protect the following turn. So let's see how this play wants to play. Let's see how this play wants to play itself. Let's see how this turn wants to play itself. Gonna go for the Bullet Punch into my Amoonguss, and then yeah, damn, that does a lot of damage. Holy crap! He actually maybe banned it because he's only going for the Bullet Punches, and that did a lot of damage to my Amoonguss. So I'm gonna switch to my Gardevoir slot. Hopefully he doesn't double down into the Gardevoir slot, but I do believe that he's gonna go into my Politoed with his Gastrodon. I'm gonna go for the Ice Beam into the Gastrodon. Probably not going to be doing anything. Yep, yeah, not doing anything. So he's going to go for the Earth Power, probably in the Politoed, which is fine. Hopefully he doesn't get the special defense drop. And he doesn't get the special defense drop. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double protect, stall him out, get some lefties, and he's probably going to anticipate this. He only has 2 more turns left. As... Yep, Parasong count has fallen to 2, so it's going to fall to 1 next turn, and he has absolutely no way of winning now. So he may actually forfeit, because I'm just going to double protect, and he's going to attack me the following turn, he's not going to be able to knock out my Politoed with his Gastrodon. He's going to have to go for the Bullet Punch into the Gardevoir. So he has actually absolutely no way of winning. So going up early on in the battle with some offensive pressure with the Gardevoir, getting some KOs early on, and then putting pressure on with the Perish Song at the end basically almost guarantees you a win. So that's why I'm not generally trying to Perish Trap people early on, but Perish Trapping them at the end, just basically securing a win. You know, obviously there's ways to play around that if you're the one on the other side of the Perish Song, but you have to play, you know, you have to play well. Obviously everyone has to play well, but you have to play well when you're trying to Perish Trap people and stall them out well. So he's just gonna die the next turn, so there's absolutely no way again to win. So I'm gonna switch back out into my Amoonguss right here, and then I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam with my Politoed. And after this, we will pick up the win. So I'm going to switch into my Amoonguss right here. Probably going to go for the Bullet Punch again into the Amoonguss slot. Most likely a Bandit. Scizor. And then I'm going to go for the Ice Beam with my Politoed into the Gastrodon. Gastrodon probably going to go for another Earth Power. And then both of his Pokemon are going to faint after this turn. So going to pick up a win in the first battle, which is really good because, you know, this is kind of the purpose of these videos, to try to win, right? And didn't really get the feature Scrafty, but I did get the feature the new move onto my Sableye with the Fake Out, and the Fake Out actually being really helpful, putting the Sableye and the Gardevoir in there in the beginning of the battle, because I got the Fake Out the Talonflame, wasn't able to get off a Brave Bird, and yep, both those Pokemon are going to faint. I was able to prevent him from getting off a Brave Bird, preserving my Gardevoir, getting off an Imprison. He wasn't able to get off a Hyper Voice, and that's basically the core of my lead when it comes to the Sableye and the Gardevoir. And I basically have a, you know, Mega Sableye on my team, just, you know, in case they lead with Taunters on the other team. Possibly, you know, Thundurus isn't just Mega Evolve with my Sableye. Kind of considering putting Moonblast on my Gardevoir, but it's just, I don't really Mega Evolve my Sableye too often, so I don't know whether or not I really want to do that. But if I do have a situation where I do Mega Evolve my Sableye, Hyper Voice is going to be a useless move on my Gardevoir. So basically all it's going to be doing is using Psychics. So we're at 1559 right now, 17 and 12. Hopefully we can pick up one more win before we end this episode today, but yet again, not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. 1728 player from Portugal. Edu, well, okay, highly ranked player, so hopefully we can pick up a win in this battle, and he has a very, very strong team. He has a Metagross, he has the Thundurus T, he has, again, the Gastrodon, the Hydreigon, the Manshell, and the Volcarona. So, Volcarona could be the bulky variant right here, also could be the, Quiver Dancing. I've been actually battling a few Volcaronas on BattleSpot. Mostly they have Tailwind. To set up the Tailwind basically just to sweep with his entire team, and he's got a very, very powerful team. That Hydreigon's going to be hard to get rid of because I don't have many Pokemon that can get rid of it on my team besides my Gardevoir and my Scrafty. But yet again, it could just basically I could do basically half damage to my entire team, which is not going to be beneficial. Most likely going to be, you know, Mega Metagross. Why wouldn't it be? So Mega Metagross is going to be a huge threat to my Mega, being the Gardevoir. But I, you know, kind of in the situation I have to bring my Gardevoir because I need to bring it for the Manshell, I need to bring it for the Hydreigon, and I feel like he's going to bring either one of them. He probably is going to bring the Manshell because the Manshell does a lot of work to my Scrafty. Most likely thinking I'm going to bring the Scrafty. Just trying to think of what I could be bringing here. I don't think he's going to lead with the Metagross. He could be leading with the Hydreigon and a Volcarona, or the Hydreigon and the Thundurus T, because usually Thundurus T's are scarfed and get a lot of damage off early on. But it's interesting to see what he leads with right here. He's got a very interesting team, very powerful team, and I'm kind of scared of it right now. But who do I want to lead with here? I don't know whether or not I want to lead with the Gardevoir right here because he has the Metagross. Going to lead with my Sableye. And I kind of feel like I want to lead with my Scrafty as well to get the Intimidate off on his... well, it's not going to do anything. Try to think here. Alright, so I'm going to bring my Scrafty in the back in case he does lead with his Metagross because I don't want to get the... I don't want to waste an Intimidate. I don't want to waste an Intimidate. I could potentially switch it in on Zen Headbutt as well. But I think I led with my Sableye and my Gothitelle, so he's going to lead with his Volcarona and his Thundurus. This is actually a problem because Volcarona is going to just go for the straight up Bug Buzz onto my Gothitelle. If he doesn't, he's going to go for the Tailwind, which is also bad. So if he's going to be running Tailwind on this Volcarona, this Thundurus most likely isn't going to be Choice Scarfed because it doesn't have to have the Choice Scarf under the Tailwind. So it could be Choice Specs. So we could be seeing Choice Specs Volt Switch right here. Trying to think of what I want to do right here because you could be going for the Choice Specs Volt Switch, probably into my Sableye, because this Volcarona can deal with my Gothitelle fairly easy. I don't think this Thundurus is going to have Taunt. It's probably going to be either Choice Scarf or Choice Specs with all attacking moves. I don't think it's going to have Taunt. Volcarona doesn't even get Taunt, as far as I'm aware of. So I'm going to go for the Fake Out into the Volcarona, and then I'm going to go for the Trick Room, because he has generally all fast Pokemon, barring that he has the Gastrodon. So I'm going to go for the, just don't have Flame Body. Just don't Flame Body me. Okay, he has Rocky Helmet. So basically, he's going to go for the Volt Switch. Wow, that did not do a lot of damage. So I don't believe he is Choice Spec. He's probably Choice Scarfed. So this is probably going to be a bulky Volcarona right now. Could have the Tailwind, Quiver Dance, Protect, maybe Fiery Dance. But usually Volcaronas don't even have Quiver Dance. Usually they're just generally bulky. Could have Rocky Helmet and Citrus Berry. So this is probably going to be a Tailwind, Fiery Dance, Trick Room. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be faster than both of those Pokemon, obviously. He's going to Mega Evolve and go for the Protect onto his Metagross, which is going to give me a turn for me to switch out my Sableye right here, because Sableye's not going to be doing much against his Volcarona, because I fail play. Obviously, he's not going to do anything to the Volcarona. It could potentially burn me as well, because I'll be touching it. Don't have to go to Recover right now, and the Will-O-Wisp isn't going to be doing much against this Metagross that is going to Mega Evolve. So, trying to think of whether or not I want to switch into my Scrafty right here, so that he Mega Evolves and I can get the Intimidate off on him. Volcarona could also burn Scrafty, because I have the Life Orb on Scrafty now. This Volcarona actually providing a huge threat to my team. I should have brought my goddamn Politoed. I don't know why I didn't bring my Politoed. I think I didn't bring my Politoed because I seen the Gastrodon on it, and Gastrodon should have been enough to deter me from bringing my Politoed. So I'm going to go for the Psychic onto the Volcarona, get some chip damage off onto it, and then bring the Scrafty out here. He's not going to Mega Evolve before I throw him in here. I should have considered that, so that's huge misplay on my part. Clear Body, I'm not going to be doing anything. He's going to go for the Rage Powder. Okay, well, I was going to go for the target onto you anyway. Interesting to see what the Metagross goes for. So the Metagross isn't even going to Mega Evolve, which is pretty interesting. It's going to go for the Iron Head into the Scrafty, which is fine. It's not going to be doing much. Now this turn he could go for the Mega Evolution and Protect into the Metagross, anticipating the Fake Out. This is why I wish I had Sub on my Scrafty, and I actually have Sub on one of my Scrafties, but it's not this one. This Volcarona is so damn bulky. That Psychic did nothing. It's going to be Mega Metagross, so I can't knock off its Mega Stone. It's obviously not going to be doing anything to either one of my Pokemon. So I'm just going to go for the... It's probably going to Protect, so I'm going to go for a knockoff into the Volcarona. Hopefully the Volcarona doesn't have Will-O-Wisp. And I'm going to go for the Psychic into the Volcarona. He's going to Mega Evolve, most likely Protect as well, anticipating the Fake Out. I hope he protects. It's kind of what I was predicting. Nope, he doesn't protect. Okay, so... Wow, it's interesting to see what the hell he goes for. I'm going to go for a knockoff in the Scrafty. Probably he's going to go for the strip... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Does he pick up the KO into the Scrafty? That's interesting to see whether or not he does. He's going to go into the Gothitelle. That's not going to KO. Does he double down into the Gothitelle? Because if he double downs into the Gothitelle, he's going to pick up the KO into the Gothitelle. Probably will Iron Head into the Gothitelle, into the Scrafty. And it doesn't KO. I mean, it does KO. Damn it. I wish I could have gotten the goddamn Intimidate off onto this goddamn Metagross. Metagross is so OP. So OP. I wish Gothitelle would recover. If Gothitelle would recover, it would be absolutely insane. Gardevoir can't do anything to this Metagross. I shouldn't even brought my Gardevoir, to be completely honest with you. I brought it for the Hydreigon and the Manchion, and I haven't even seen either one of them yet. And considering the fact that he switched into his Metagross, I believe he doesn't even have the Hydreigon in the back. He has the Thundurus in the back, and he could possibly have the Manchion in the back. He probably didn't want to switch into the Manchion because I have my Gothitelle out here. So what should I do right here? I want to switch into my Sableye. The Trick Room is still up, so I'll get the KO onto the Volcarona if it doesn't protect with my Gothitelle. Most likely going to go for the Iron Head into the Gothitelle, but I'm going to get off a Foul Play onto it as well. Or potentially a Will-O-Wisp. Wish I knew what his last Pokemon was, Manchion, or the because I kind of want to Mega Evolve my Sableye right here just to pick up the extra bulk and then potentially bounce back a Will-O-Wisp from this Volcarona. But I'm going to go first before the Volcarona, so I don't have to really worry about that unless it goes for the Protect and just stalls out the Trick Room. I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't gone for the Protects just yet to stall out the Trick Room. Maybe seeing it right here, to be honest with you. I'm going to go for the Foul Play into the Metagross, and then I'm going to go for the Psychic into the Volcarona. Volcarona's going to Protect. Okay, so I should have protected with my Gothitelle right here, because he's probably going to go for... He's going to Protect. Okay, so I was just saying that I don't understand why he's not going for the Protects. And he goes for the Protect right here. I should have one more turn to Trick Room after this. Yep, one more turn to Trick Room. And you can't switch out either one of those Pokemon, so I'm going to get a lot of damage off onto this Metagross right here. But we're going to go into my Gothitelle. I need to get damage off into the Metagross, to be honest with you. I really need to get damage off into the Metagross. Just trying to think here. Okay, I go for the Foul Play. Most likely doing half damage to the Metagross. Volcarona's going to go into my Sableye, and the Metagross is going to go into my Gothitelle. Kind of have to save Gothitelle right here, because I want to get another Trick Room up. Shit. Nope, I need to get rid of this Volcarona. Volcarona's going to Rage Powder, which is good, or which is not good. Yes, it's good, because I'm going to go first with my Gothitelle. I'm going to get rid of the Volcarona, so I am going to get the Foul Play off into the Metagross. Alright, good. So it's good that I went for the Psych into the Volcarona. So it should do at least half damage. Wow. Wow, that did a lot of damage. And it's going to KO my Gothitelle. With a critical hit didn't matter, because he's going to KO my Gothitelle regardless. Fortunately, the dimensions are going to switch right here. I can't use Fake Out anymore. And I'm going to switch into my... Okay, so... I traced Tough Claws, okay. Not going to matter. Okay. Alright, so... What's going to happen here? What's going to happen? I wonder if I Will-O-Wisp this Metagross, it'll be enough to KO it after this turn, but I don't know whether or not I want to rely on the Will-O-Wisp miss, the Will-O-Miss. So this is the kind of predicament that we are in right now. He's going to double down onto my Sableye, anticipating the Protect with my Gardevoir. I kind of feel like he's going to do that. Obviously, both of these Pokemon are going to be faster than my Gardevoir. He's going to go for the Dark Pulse with his Hydreigon. Oh, this sucks. This freaking sucks. With a Will-O-Wisp. I'm going to go for the Hyper Voice right here, because I kind of feel like he's going to double down on my Sableye. I really feel like he's going to double down to my Sableye, and I'm not going to risk going for the Protect right here and wasting a turn when I could just attack. So he's going to Protect with his Metagross, which is perfect, because his Hydreigon's mostly going to go right into my Sableye. Draco Meteor. That may actually KO my Sableye. One of the only moves that could potentially one-hit KO my Sableye, which it's actually going to do it. So I'm going to pick up the KO onto this. I'm going to pick up the KO onto this Hydreigon, but obviously not going to matter because he's going to have the Thundurus in the back, and the Metagross obviously going to attack before my Gardevoir. So that was a good protect on his part, and that was good for me to go for the for the Hyper Voice. But again, in that situation where I wish I had Quash over Fake Out, but you can never win. You only have 4 slots for moves, and if you know, in that case, if I had Quash, it would have worked out. I would have picked up the KO onto the Hydreigon, and I could have went for the Quash the following turn onto the Metagross. So in that situation, I probably could have picked up the win if I had Quash, but yet again, I had times where I needed the Fake Out, and if I had the Fake Out, I won as well, and I did pick up the win in those. So you're never going to win. So should I put Quash and Fake Out on the same Sableye? I don't know, because I want to have Will-O-Wisp, and I want to have Recover, and I also want to have an attacking move. So it's not gonna work out. Nothing's ever you can't have everything. But I'm trying to think. You know, I can't really do anything right here, so I have to kind of go for the Hyper Voice. Yeah, I have to go for the Hyper Voice. It's gonna go for the Thunderbolt. It's gonna bring me down to like 40%. Yep, and he's gonna do the Iron Head. So I couldn't really do anything right there. Metagross is so threatening to my Gardevoir, and to be honest with you, I shouldn't have brought it in the first place, but it did pick up the KO onto the Hydreigon. If I would have preserved my Scrafty, or at least survived that Iron Head, I could have used it later on in the battle, getting a knockoff into the Metagross, or potentially a Drain Punch into the Hydreigon. But yet again, you're not going to win them all, and you can only have 4 slots on your Pokemon. So unfortunately, we're going to split win and a loss today, and that's going to be it for today's episode. So if you did enjoy this episode, please like and subscribe to my channel. And this is going to be the last day that we're going to be using this team. I think we won like 70% of our matches this week with our team, and it's kind of surprising because I didn't really put much thought into this team. Basically, I just comprised it again from Amelia Zolbli's and Wolfie Glick's teams, and just basically put them both together into one team. I did have Arcanine earlier in the week, and I switched it out for the Scrafty today, and I did put Fake Out onto the Sableye where Amelia's Sableye had Quash, but yet again, you can only have 4 move slots, so it's, you know, you can't win. You can't win them all. So that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. I'll see you later with a new team next week. See you.